Hey Sagittarius, this is going to be your February 2019 reading. My name is Camille. You are watching Millennial Tarot. Just before we get into the cards, I am doing $10 readings always. One question, $10 for if this reading resonates and you want more info, and especially if it doesn't resonate and you just need something more specific to you. So I'm more than happy to do that. We'll leave my email below and also my website below. You can get in touch with me either way and see what else I'm offering on my website that you might want. So without further ado, I'm filming yours. I did everyone else's in sequence, and I'm filming you and Capricorn in the middle of the night because I had things to do. And I like it. I like the vibe. I just like it. Feels very noir, and then, cheers to a good night and all that stuff. It just feels cozy. I'm not used to doing readings in the middle of the night. So not that you care, because you're just like, pull the cards. We don't care. But it's cool. It's a different type of mood for me, so I'm excited to see how it affects the reading. Let's see what is coming up for Sagittarius. Feb 2019. Yikes. Okay. Jupiter's in your sign until the end of the year. I probably already told you that. Good luck, good fortune, good blessings are there for you should you choose to activate that. Okay. All right. Let's get some clarity here. Got it. Okay, so we're coming into the reading with the energies of the Four of Wands. Then we move into the energies of Empress, Major Arcana. Then we have here an Eight of Cups. So already we have this theme of building something, creating something, and then having to walk away from it because it's not what you thought it would be. It's not what you wanted. The person's not what you wanted. The job is not what you wanted. The lifestyle or the dream is not what you wanted, and you just have to walk away. So that was clarified by the Knight of Pentacles. So you're walking away from something only to be offered something much greater, much more substantial. And then we have a bottom of the deck being this Page of Swords. Underneath that, the Ten of Swords, and underneath that, the Six of Swords. Underneath that, the Devil card. Underneath that, Two of Swords. So these cards that come up right under the bottom of the deck have a piece of the narrative. They represent grounding energies or foundational energies or things that may have played out before this reading. And this is telling a story of hurt. It's telling a story of betrayal. It's telling a story of, these swords cards in particular, having a hard time making up your mind, having challenged communications with people, having fights with people, or not being on the same mental wavelength as people, or as the people that you want to be. It also just comes in to represent a lot of confliction and mental confliction. And yeah, you may have a thing, and yeah, you may think that you want this thing, but the Two of Swords, and especially this Ten of Swords, coming in to represent, well, do I really want it? And then crowning off this part of the reading is this Devil card. It's Capricorn. It's in Capricorn season. It's the Capricorn solar eclipse. It's how right after Capricorn season ended, we had that Leo lunar eclipse, and how January in general is just a very active month for you guys. And you guys may have, during this lunar eclipse that was in Leo on January 20th and the 21st, there may have been information that came out that really hurt your feelings. Information that came out that really felt like a betrayal. Information that came out and you had no choice but to walk away from the person or the thing. Information that came out that you just can't make your mind up over. And you're in this place of distress and waffling over what choice to make. All because of this Capricornian energy. Or, of course, this card also represents our codependent relationships with people, our toxic relationships with people. So if you've had to leave, and then, of course, covering all of that is, truth, speaking truth to power, cutting people out of our lives, authenticity, the power of telling our stories in a new way. This is the Page of Swords. This is the energy that becomes of you after this, what you might consider a heartbreak. So for some of you, there may have been a relationship that was going on that you kind of sensed wasn't really the right thing for you, or that you sensed was kind of derailing, and then the month of January snapped it right on out of your fingers. And even though you can maybe understand from a far away wise place in yourself why it had to happen, you still may be in this place where you are reeling from what could have been or felt like a crushing defeat, a crushing realization, a crushing secret that has come out. But these are just the cards underneath the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords really does represent, you know, uh, getting information, getting truth, the authority that we have over our lives when we do hear the truth and when we do seek the right information, and just deciding to turn over a new leaf and deciding to move forward in your life with the people that are going to be worthy of you, and people who won't betray you, and people who won't, trap you up in chains like this Devil Capricorn card is doing. So that's an interesting story, a little tangential story, something that might make sense for some of you or most of you. But let's get into the main reading. Moving into the Four of Wands, into the Empress card tells a very easy, mundane story, in that for some of you may be in a relationship where the Empress card represents taking the next step, taking the next level. For a lot of women, what that may look like is planning for the future. And one of the ways that we plan for the future in our relationships is to have a child. And Empress does represent these energies of fertility. So here we would have the Four of Wands, which represents the actual marriage ceremony, or it doesn't have to be marriage. It could be the relationship leveled up in some type of way. It became more substantial. We have four pillars here representing balance and substance. Moving here into the Empress card of fertility, of what you want this relationship to look like for you, how you want it to manifest for you in the world. And for some of you, though these cards are truly delightful, what we get at the end of the story is ultimately having to walk away from it. So even if the relationship, we can look here, even though this Four of Wands looks really nice, the two people may have seemed like this, on the outside, but on the inside they were struggling with this. So this is all about how we put on fronts, how we put on appearances, how we might have taken the next step in our relationship physically, but emotionally we might be trapped in this codependent partnership that's unbecoming of us. And so if that ends up being the story here, then we know why the Eight of Cups is telling you to walk away. So the Wands card, the Four of Wands into the Empress card, does not necessarily mean married and children and then walking away from that. What it also means is coming into a place of solidity with a partner in your life. And the partner could be a romantic partner, it could be a friend, it could be getting to a place of peace and understanding with a family member, maybe because you've had disagreements in the past, or you've been having skirmishes, or just bad energy between you guys in the past. And then this Empress card comes in to represent moving forward. How do you want the relationship to look? How do you want to birth this new chapter of the relationship into the world? The Empress card is that conduit between our inspirations, our ideas, and the actual physical manifestation of a thing. And for a lot of you, I get that there was emphasis on trying to physically manifest this relationship, whether you have it and you're taking it to the next level, or whether you don't have it and you want to create it, or whether you're dating and you just want to find one person to make more solid. This represents going from a place of a rather stable relationship, or you think you're moving at a stable pace, and then the Empress card comes in to represent, how do you want that to physically make you feel in your everyday life? How do you want to birth that in the world? And then what ends up happening is, and this, I do not say this to be crude or to make light of the situation, but the Eight of Cups paired with the Empress card is kind of this feeling of a miscarriage. Now, obviously, for a very small majority of you, small portion of you, it could be that's literally what happened. But when there's a miscarriage in anything in our life, what that means is that we're growing something. We think it's going to turn out one way. We think it's going to happen one way, and then it ends up dissolving. It ends up sometimes dying, or it ends up just falling apart. So for a lot of Sagittarians, it could have been a relationship that did a kind of whiplash, where it took the next level, everything was feeling and looking good, And then at the very end, after things were said and done, the Eight of Cups is telling you, hey, you have to walk away. And I'm getting the distinct sense that this happened around the Leo lunar eclipse, or that it happened in January in general, because we have all these contentious cards of miscommunication, betrayals, someone appearing to be one way, but actually not being that way. The relationship, appearing to be good, we can move forward, this is going to be healthy, and then it ends up being this, where you're just stuck in this battle, stuck in this cycle of toxicity with each other. And the Eight of Cups then shows you walking away. And it shows you walking away from something you thought would bring you satisfaction. These are surely cards of satisfaction. And it's a little bit distressing to have so many good cards and then at the very end to have a walking away card. So what this just looks like is that, and this has been a theme in a lot of the readings, is that, there have been some false starts. There have been promises made, or things seemed like they were going to go off in a direction, and it ended up not happening, based on miscommunication, based on secrets coming out, based on motives being made more clear, or just based on your own private and personal insights about, this doesn't feel right, or I don't feel like, this person likes me, I don't feel like this job is becoming of me, or I don't feel like I'm going to make the final interview. There's just some inner knowing within you, probably before this failed or miscarried, that it probably wasn't the right thing for you. Which is why it's so beautiful that what comes up after all of this is the Knight of Pentacles. Whatever you thought the Four of Wands was, whatever you thought the Empress was going to birth into your world for you, and even whatever hardship you went through here with this person, a breakup, a major fight, a divorce, a taking the next step, and that next step ends up being falling right off the cliff with the person. What ends up happening at the end of that is that you get something, you get an offer that's far more stable. Pentacles always represent stability. They always represent our long-term growth. They always represent people and entities and energies that are with us for the long haul. So yes, the job may have fallen apart, the relationship may have fallen apart, you may have had to walk away from something that you spent a great amount of time investing in emotionally, and something went down, communications, wires were crossed, something was said, something was not said, or someone just did a complete 180 on you and disappeared, or you had to disappear on them because you realized it wasn't going to ever give you satisfaction, not like you thought it would anyway. And then what comes to meet you at the end of all this, at the end of February, is an offer being made from the right person, from the right job, from the right people, from the right friends. If you're networking and trying to meet new people, this Knight of Pentacles promises that the new opportunities that are going to be coming in, not only are they substantial, but they will grow and blossom with you, because that's always a Knight of Pentacles thing and Pentacles things. Like, we plant them, they grow, they become these very strong and solid structures, so that what you think you're losing out on here, this solid structure, becomes far more stronger in the hands of another person and in the hands of another situation. Now, of course, I want to talk about this Page of Wands. This Page of Wands is who you become as a result of these mistruths and of these miscommunications and of these half-truths and lies. You become a crusader for your own truth. You become a crusader for having encounters, having conversations, and having a life and having relationships with people that are based off the principle of trust and based off the principle of coming together with, swords always represent facts and logic and objectivity and rationality. And these things make sense kind of on their own, but as it has to do with relationships, we obviously don't want to be objective and rational all the time about our relationships, but it does represent this mental acuity that you have now to never attract again these type of players, these type of situations where you have to walk away. We have 2 walking away cards. A lot of you are walking away from jobs, walking away from people, just walking away from things you thought would really bring you something. And this Page of Swords gives you this level up in terms of truth and choosing to walk down paths with people that are far more authentic. And when things are authentic, when things are based in trust and mutual reception of each other and not, lies and I don't know how to make up my mind and codependency and betrayals and, having to walk away, all the things that distrust can provide in a relationship, The Page of Swords sees you moving and flipping that script to having more trusting and trustful encounters, so that whoever you meet here, whatever situation you have here, whatever offer, be it money, be it love, be it job, is something that is going to stand in truth. And when you know it's truthful, when you know it's authentic, when you know it's not going to be ripped out from underneath of you so that you have to make the calculation to walk away, that is when you know it is yours, Sagittarius. So be patient with this process. Be patient. For some of you, you're still in the walking away or the dissolving process. You're still reconciling with the fact that whatever this Four of Wands was may not be for you. And some Sagittarians are clearly in the Eight of Cups walking away. So I don't want you to think you're just walking away and woe is me and sadness, sadness, sadness. Know that you're walking away into a truth that is into a future that's far more truthful, far more becoming of you, and far more substantial. It's going to have it's going to have gravity, it's going to have gravitas, and it's going to pull you through this. And whatever this is that you're leaving behind, whatever these 8 cups is what you're leaving behind, the story for most of the signs have been that what you leave behind ends up getting replaced by something far better, something that you could never even fathom how awesome it's going to be. So walk away, do the walking of the way. If you found out something unsavory about a person or a situation, even if it's just an inclination, a little red flag, go ahead and trust that and move in the other direction, knowing that what is coming for you is something much bigger and much grander. All right, this has been my reading for you, Sag. If you need anything else from me, I'm just one email away. If you need a reading, hit me up in my email or through my website. Until then, I hope that this video finds you well. Take care, and I'll see you in March. Bye.